Agrosuede, and welcome everybody to Agrosuede Backyard Gardening with me, Mitchell Junior Suede. Welcome to the studio of Marpin 2K4. I'm a guest here with National Youth Council Dominica. Hopefully I can get a few clips that I can share with you for the discussion. But it will be basic questions. How agriculture affecting the youth? How can the youth get more involved in agriculture? And we'll be talking about agriculture and youth. That's it basically.
Why is youth involvement so important in agriculture? Because quite frankly, there are programs at the school, at the high school level especially, but nonetheless the youth still seem to be in the minority more or less with the issue of an aging farmer population. So young people like yourself are now coming almost ready to take on the vanguard. Why do you think that young people should now be involved as the present generation?
Well, you said the right word. As the present generation, you see, here's a fact: we are the future, no matter what. We are the future of Dominica, and if this generation do not take agriculture serious, what's going to happen? God forbid, when farmers pass away, what's going to happen? Therefore, you know our import bill is high. Can you imagine agriculture dying in a country that's the nature isle of the Caribbean, and we're importing so many things we could have grown here? If our youth do not take agriculture serious now, what's going to happen to our children? What's going to happen to our soil? For example, not just our soil, let me put it like that. If our youth give up on agriculture now, and if they don't take agriculture now serious now, they will not be taking care of the land. So, case in fact, the plants will die. If you have everybody building, no one planting, our rivers will dry. So, all in all, that will affect our whole country here, now, tomorrow. That's it. It will affect the future.
Now, one of the important things you do is really practice agriculture in a sustainable manner. I mentioned some other issue. There are over 300 abandoned fields in Dominica. How do we solve that issue?
Well, in terms of the abandoned fields, it's time that we, for example, if they are abandoned, first of all, that means they have no trees on there that's actually bearing fruit, because they're abandoned, whether it's fruit, banana, citrus or something. We need to think again. We need to test the market. There are some things we are importing, for example, peas. We're importing red beans. We can therefore transform our abandoned fields into pigeon peas fields, like farming. And mass, when we grow it, it will grow in Dominica. One thing I've planted some pigeon peas, and maybe for 3 weekends, we didn't have to buy any red beans or anything like that. We use our own pigeon peas. So if right now the abandoned fields we have, we will make use of them by planting new crops which would be crops which would be a lot of food, and crops which, we have the demand in Dominica for it, but we can substitute what we plant for what we're already importing. So I suggest for our abandoned fields, we plant crops and plants that will live long and bear a lot of fruits.
So essentially, we should at least be making some proper use of that asset, really, to ensure our very own economic survival.
That's right. And another thing is that when we have the abandoned fields or the abandoned lots or whatever it might be, you see, we live in chance for disaster, plain and simple. You might have your natural disasters. If there's no trees on there, there's soil erosion.
Indeed, that's a very, very important point. Soil erosion. Of course, we're going to be touching on all that. We're going to be educating you as to the impact of soil erosion and really desertification in general. It's a very, very, very critical issue in agriculture. Abandoned farms themselves lead to other issues. We have the question of black sigatoka being spread. But all these things, I'm assuring you that we're going to be touching on it. It's very important. And, let's just keep it locked. Stay tuned. You've camera action.
Have you ever wondered to yourself, where in Portsmouth can I buy tools and equipment for my backyard garden? Or perhaps seeds, or maybe pots? What about seedling trays, pesticides, fertilizer, and much more? Well, come on down to the Farmer Supply Center, located on Bay Street, Portsmouth, close to the Portsmouth Fisheries Complex and the main market. Open from 8 a.m. to 12 noon, and from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. from Mondays to Fridays and even Saturdays. the Farmer Supply Center offers a wide range of seeds and other backyard gardening equipment, including shovel, rake, cutlasses, boots, handheld gardening tools, handheld gardening sprays, and much more. So come on down, the Farmer Supply Center. Your satisfaction is our business. Telephone number 1-767-285-2373.
Welcome back, audience, and of course you're tuned into Youth Camera Action. I am your host, Nestor Philip. It's a program brought to you by the National Youth Council of Dominica in collaboration with Marpin 2K4. I'm speaking to my guest, Mr. Mitchell John, of course one who is very, very, very proficient and moving forward in terms of subsistence agriculture. Mr. John, subsistence agriculture is a sort of first step. How does one make it sustainable so that it doesn't start this week, forget next week, continue the other week, forget the 2 other weeks, that sort of thing? How does one, be consistent with that?
Okay, for subsistence farming, it's basically most times for your family. When you grow in crops and vegetables for you and your family, and in order to keep it consistent, there's something called crop rotation. So you're planting crops one after the other at different intervals when it passes out. When the first one brings forth fruit, and most times short-term crops, they will die, some of them, or you could just uproot them, and because you want to literally rotate your crop, you're planting something else. So if you keep, every time you plant one crop, you plant your seed for that same crop or another crop. When it brings forth fruit, you plant the other crop and you keep at it. And number one, it will be subsistence. You want to know why? We have to eat every day. So unless you want to actually get hungry, or you want to actually spend money to buy something which you could actually do in your yard or in your backyard, that's the whole point. Because you have to keep it going, just keep going. Once you plant one crop or one, let's just say one row of a crop, you get ready for the next time you research or know how long it will take for it to grow, bring forth fruit, if you have another crop to bring forth on the same tree, and you just keep it going.
So thank you everyone who have supported Agrosuede Backyard Gardening through the likes, through the subscription, through sharing the Facebook page, sharing the YouTube channel. You have all contributed to Agrosuede Backyard Gardening and where Agrosuede Backyard Gardening is and where it will head in the future. So thank you very much, and keep on being encouraged to start backyard gardening. I'm telling you, you have nothing to lose. It's a way to relieve stress. It's also a way of making some money. It's also a way of saving some money, and most importantly, food sustainability. If you know you like your lettuce, you can plant your lettuce, you can plant your tomato, you can plant something. So just be encouraged. And Agrosuede is out.